host Michelle White, and we're right here on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. This evening, we've got two wonderful guests. We have Jason Arnaud Turner, who is a renowned artist, has a art show coming up in New York State, in the state of New York City, and we're going to be talking with him. And then we also have Christopher Ford, who's a part of an organization called Force Detroit, where they help to stop the violence in the area. And the applications that they apply can be utilized in any state. So again, we thank you for tuning in to Community Updates. I'm your host, Michelle White. You're right here on WJZZ. We're here every Wednesday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. So, Jason, we're going to get started with you, or Arnaud. That is, you're using Arnaud as your artist name, which is wonderful. So, Jason, you have an exhibit that's coming up. Tell us about that exhibit. But before we do that, Jason just graduated from, where'd you just graduate from?
NYU, in the
Gatlin
School.
Gallatin.
School of Individualized Study, where I created a major around improvisation in the arts, but thinking about how improvisation and art could extend beyond the art world into our social systems, whether it be education, government, healthcare, food production.
Awesome. And what is I'm looking at an exhibit that you did before, Burning Babylon, but you have a new one coming up. What is it called?
Yes, it's called Give Us This Day.
Give Us This Day.
Yeah. And it opens up tomorrow. I'm actually in this, I'm behind this space right now, but I'm in the same building. So I could at some point go around.
Yes, we want you to please do so. Please do so.
Yeah.
So you just graduated and you've already got your first exhibit. That's wonderful.
Yes.
And in New York City, of no other place. That's the best place to start, is it not?
Yeah.
So please take us and show us some of your renderings around the studio.
Okay, yeah, I'll walk through now. Let's see. So I wanted to make the walls blue. Let me see if I can flip it. So this is the space right here. And it has a bunch of archival family photos. Like here's my mom.
Oh, wonderful.
This is on granddaddy's side.
Now, Jason happens to be my cousin. And you said that's on Granddaddy Turner's side?
Yeah, that's
you gotta send me that picture.
Grandmother.
Get out of here.
His grandmother. And her name was Mary Warren Turner. She was married to Young Turner. Who,
our grandfather.
These are ancestors. And this is a photo I found on Ancestry.com that another descendant had posted. And I was able to print it. So I included that. There's a lot of, and this is a picture I took. A lot of family archives. This is on my great-grandmother Gammy's side. Her name was Julia Gibson. And these are a lot of pictures that I found.
You mean the Gammy that I know?
Yes, yeah.
Get out
So that was
here.
Gammy's mother. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, you got to send those to me.
Yes, yeah. And so I used a lot of pictures from the family, photo archive that I found when going through my grandparents' house in the basement. And then I also have paintings mixed in that I've done.
Beautiful.
This painting is of one of the few survivors of the MOVE bombing in Philadelphia. In the 1980s. His name was Birdie Africa. And he unfortunately passed on at a young age. So I would consider him to also be a victim of that bombing later because he lost his whole family. Yeah, more photos from the family archive here. Yeah, and then this is another wall with some more paintings I did on wood blocks. And living in Brooklyn and just walking around New York because of the rate of rent, there's a lot of people who are always moving out. So there's always just a bunch of random free things sitting out. And that's where I found a lot of the canvases and pieces of wood that I painted on. Here I have the African-American flag that David Hammonds created. And this is the painting Burning of Babylon, which showed before. And then this is a whole section. I'm going to try and get far away so you can see the whole wall. But just more ancestors mixed in with paintings. There's some more paintings. Yeah.
I think I recognize the one at the top.
Oh yeah, that's Malcolm
X.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't talking about that one. The people with the red dress, the person with the red dress on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this one?
Nope.
This one.
The picture, family picture.
Oh, family picture. Up here?
Don't I know them? Yep, I know them.
That's Nene and Granddad with my dad.
With Julie?
Right, no,
you
that's
painted
my dad.
that?
He's just wearing a dress or something.
Oh.
Yeah, and so this was one of my earliest paintings.
Okay.
And so I started taking painting more seriously in 2022 when I took a gap year from school. And then I painted that during my gap year. And then as I started to paint more, my friends started to encourage me to paint more, and it just kept going. And then I ended up having enough to fill up this space, which is a blessing. And then I also have a film showing right now. It's in this.
And you play music and have written songs as well, correct?
Yes, yeah. So tomorrow at the opening, I'm going to be playing some songs that I made on the guitar, and then I'm going to play a few songs. I'm going to play the djembe drums, which I have in this closet over here, while my friend plays the piano, and we're just going to jam out. So
you said you started recognizing your talent for art in around 2022.
I was always interested in, well, not always, but I accredit a lot of my artistic interests to my first grade art teacher, because I grew up in a very white neighborhood and went to a predominantly white school, and there was probably only 2 black kids in the first grade, including me, in a class of 100, and the art teacher was black, and so I had her all 5 years of elementary school. Her name is Mrs. Holt, and just having that classroom to enter into and the love and warmth that I was given there led me to enjoy art because she was an art teacher, and that's what inspired me to start taking more art classes as I continued on in my education. So I've always had that interest, but it wasn't until 2022 where I was oh, painting is actually a way of something that I should be doing, it's a part of my purpose. Yeah.
All right. So now you will continue on. You've got tell us about your showing. Tell us where it is. The Gallatin Art Museum, starting tomorrow, and it runs through July 29th.
Through July 29th, yes, through the 29th. And it's at Gallatin's Gallery. Gallatin Galleries is what it's called. It's 1 Washington Place if you happen to be in New York, or anyone's planning to visit New York before the 29th of July. I recommend stopping through. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So is this now what you want to just make your life continue doing this?
I hope so. That's the dream. I mean,
that's the dream.
My ultimate goal is to have land. I want to be able to be a farmer and to be mostly self-sufficient with the land that I have. And I hope my art can be a vehicle of which I can get land. And once I have that land, I plan to continue to make art. So we'll see. I mean, it's a good start. So I'm gonna just keep going and just see what happens.
Awesome. It will happen. You just keep seeing the vision, keep speaking it and putting it forth. Yes.
Yeah.
And so Arnaud Turner has a gallery showing starting tomorrow evening, or starting tomorrow. What time does it start?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. is the grand opening for all our listeners in New York and the state in New York City. Please go to the Gallatin Museum at 1 Washington Street, and the exhibit will be on display until July the 29th. So don't miss it. Get out and go see these renderings both some historical pictures of various people, as well as different paintings that our Nod Turner has done. And we just wish you all the best and know that you will do a wonderful job. Are there any other things that for people that are maybe wanting to get into art, what are some things that you might suggest that they might do?
Just start. I feel like a lot of things, especially with music for me, because I started playing music late, people were having the expectation that you have to do it a certain way or play by a standard and need to know how to read notes. And I feel like with art or any form of expression, you have to be free in that. And it could be helpful to like know the techniques and know how people have done it before, but there's a practice and there's a theory. And it's like sometimes you can just practice things before and theories can be written about your practice. And that's kind of how I approach my art is I practice art. I practice playing music. And it's like I don't worry too much about the theories that were handed down to us, not by us. Like, and so that's the approach I would say is just do it if you feel called to do it. And experiment, have fun. Like, there's no such thing as like good in art. It's just, is it true? Yeah.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I know here in Michigan, a lot of times people put their artwork in various restaurants and they're for sale and different places. Even have when we have metal art throughout the city. I don't know, do they do that in New York as well?
Probably. That's the stuff I need to start doing research in because I haven't given too much thought before this show of selling my art because my dad is always talking to me like, oh, like, because I'll be struggling with money at times. And he'll be like, oh, you should just sell your paintings. And I'm like, they're too special to me because I've only painted like family and close friends. But I am at the point where I'm like, I have enough paintings at this point where I'm confident as I create more to give them away and like part ways with them and start selling them. And
I
as I
don't
do
know if
that,
you can hear the comments of different people. You're very talented, great artwork. I don't know if you can see them like I can see them,
oh,
but
I
beautiful.
appreciate that. I can't see comments right now, but I appreciate.
Okay.
I
Yes.
appreciate.
So you got to get out there and start selling them.
Yes,
And
I
you
will.
can
That's the
you
next
can
step.
keep prints for yourself. And as you sell your original artwork, it's worth more money. And then you can sell the prints.
Yes, yeah. So that is hopefully what is in the future. So I'm gonna keep painting and see what happens. Um, but yeah, I'm excited, and I'm glad I get to have all my art in one space
And
for this
I
moment.
think I see young Turner right behind you.
Oh
Isn't
no,
that young Turner? Who is
wait,
that?
this is Young Turner's son, William. William. So he was granddaddy or Edward
Right.
Turner Senior's
Turner's father.
father, and he was the first generation out of slavery. And then next to him is my grandfather, Norris Turner Sr., also known as Granddad. And then there's Aunt Doris in his lap.
And my father's my father in that picture.
Oh, I think he is. Let me see. He's in the back next to Gammy. And I think that funny
Okay.
enough, there's a piano, which I didn't just
Okay.
oh, I'm all over the place. There's a piano, and Uncle Bob or your father is standing next to
Oh,
Gammy.
I've got to get copies of some of these pictures so I can post them up myself. And even if I
Yeah.
have to pay for them from you, I'd
Yeah.
be willing to do that
No,
too.
I'll post them on Facebook. Yeah. So it's a
Wonderful
powerful.
artwork.
Yeah, it's cool to see it all together. In this space too, because it is the reality is that like a lot of where we come from, like is a troubled history. Like it's like we were humble beginnings, and to be in this space and to have the people on these walls be in this like magnitude, I feel like it's something special about that because, yeah.
And as I recall some of the family history, the Turner family in, I forget the state they were in, I forget the town, if you remember, tell me.
Yeah.
But they were able, after coming out of slavery, they had land and they helped build the city that they lived in. The Turner family did.
I did not know this.
Yes, your grandfather shared that with me.
Wow.
Our Turner family were treated a little differently than the other Black people that just came out of slavery. and they helped build the town, and they could even then go into stores that other Black people could not go into.
Do you know what town it is?
I do. I tried to go see it when I was driving to Texas. I just can't think of the name of it right now.
It's in Texas.
It's not in Texas. It's along the route to go to Texas, like Louisiana or something.
Interesting.
Yes, I'll get the name of it and send it to you.
If you find that out, let me know, because
it was your grandfather that was sharing the history, and I think I have it on tape.
Wow.
So I will share that with you.
That. Yes, please do. Please do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. I don't know if anybody has any comments, or Christopher, if you wanted to jump in. I know you're doing a different subject, but here's a young Black man selling his artwork, just graduated out of college and already has an exhibit. That is exciting. I'm so happy and proud for you.
Thank you.
Did you? Yeah. And I know you are too, and the people watching it, because we want to see our youth do the best that they can and make history. And you're making history by what you're doing. And so are you, Mr. Christopher Ford.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to say this really quick. This is amazing what I'm looking at, Arnaud, and this is really tough for me to follow what you just did here as far as the artwork. It's amazing. You're very skilled. You're very talented. I'm in Detroit with Michelle right now, and even if you were to come here and you'd see what's in the DIA, which is the Detroit Institute of Arts, it looks like your material could actually be there. It looks amazing. Wow. And then one thing too, you asked a good question to Michelle, and unfortunately she doesn't know the state, because my family, we actually have Turners in our family, and they come from Columbus, Georgia. So I'm interested in knowing what state your Turners come from, because there could be some connection there.
And if anybody that's listening knows the state, like your father, because your grandfather used to tell the story all the time, I just can't remember the state, please put it in the chat. If any family member is listening and remembers the town that they lived in, the Turner family came out of when coming out of slavery and helped build. But that's important that we know our history.
It is.
We need to know our history. You can't know where you're going until you know where you've come from.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. South Carolina and Georgia for our Turners,
All right,
South
Carolina.
There might be overlap in South Carolina based off of what I've seen.
Could be.
Yes.
Could be a family reunion here. So
that's the thing.
Never know.
Like separated families, and a lot of us are cousins. We just don't know it.
Yep.
Right. Now, Christopher, can you turn up your mic some, because I can barely hear you. I can hear Arnaud very well.
Let me see how I can do that.
I just turned my mic up some to see if I could hear you better.
So I have, let me see here.
I did it. No, I needed to turn up my speaker.
I can hear you. I can hear you good.
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you real good now.
All right.
Oh, speaker. That'll help.
Yep.
So,
no issue.
Yes. So Arnaud, you can continue to hang in here with us if you want. I want to. Okay, great. And Christopher Ford is. Oh, but now I hear the reverb. So let's see.
We can't hear you now.
Yeah, I can't hear.
Okay. Anyway,
got the reverb.
I know we're gonna have to. I'm gonna go with the reverb because that's the only way I can hear you. Unfortunately.
You might have to turn down the volume on your computer.
Yeah, but then I can't hear you.
Yeah, just a bit though. You probably
can you? Yeah, I saw the message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Christopher Ford is with an organization called Force Detroit, which is an organization that is designed to help stop the violence in and out, through communities, both the violence that people experience from police, as well as gangs and other people that just go around committing crimes and killing people for no reason at all. So Christopher, tell us how you got started with Force Detroit and tell us a little bit about Force Detroit.
Thank you for that. And thank you for allowing me to join the show. So for starters, I'll say I lead advocacy and campaigns and outreach for Force Detroit. Force Detroit is a community violence intervention nonprofit. And before I get into myself and my history, let me tell you a little bit about what community violence intervention is. So community violence intervention is nothing new to the city of Detroit, and it's not nothing new. It's not anything that's really new to the country. But this is the first time in Michigan history in which initiatives have been funded through federal dollars to actually reduce crime in the community. And what does that look like? It looks like something similar to what a community policing initiative would be, but it's not necessarily that. It's really offering wraparound resources to the community. We're talking relocation resources for individuals that are targeted by violence. We're talking mentorship. We're talking about credible messengers that come from violent communities, but are going back into those communities and literally removing the barriers that are there towards progress, workforce development, and literally removing weapons from the community as well for those individuals that are looking to perpetuate violence. So this is a situation where.
So you think that people should give up their weapons?
Well, no. This isn't us targeting weapons. This is us targeting the systemic cause of violence.
I'm not giving up my weapons.
No, we're not asking.
If I need to use them.
Like when we say weapons, you notice I didn't say guns. I said weapons.
Right.
So as far as yeah, so the systemic cause of violence is something that we look at as addressing by the Maslow's hierarchy of need, the need for food, the need for shelter, the need for clothing, the need for opportunity. And when you have an initiative like this that's being implemented into the city of Detroit, where there's a holistic perspective towards reducing violence, great things can happen. And I'm going to talk to you as we continue the conversation on what those numbers have looked like as far as that being implemented. Now, for me, my path started in the political realm. I have been the political organizing chair of the Oakland County Democratic Party. I've run a congressional campaign. I've worked in the Senate. A lot of the
showing us some of your artwork or not. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. So the work that I've done on a political level has been impactful from the perspective of fighting for legislation that's going to benefit the community. In this space, I'm able to implement change in real time. We don't have to wait 3 or 4 years for legislation to get passed to affect the community. We literally can help the community right now and offer those resources to help keep the community safe.
Wonderful. And tell us some of those numbers. And before you tell us that, Arnaud, someone shared that Carla Smith Tinsley from the DIA could help you with your artwork, getting it in the Detroit Institute of Art. Carla Smith Tinsley, it's in the chat. And someone said to you, Mr. Ford, huh?
My email to email me.
I'll send that to you.
Really, email. You should say it right now so people can write it down.
Yes, Carla Smith Tinsley.
Look at God.
Yes.
My email is JX as in Xavier, SON Turner @gmail.com. So it's like Jason with the X in the A. So
that's why you didn't get my email, because I didn't have an X in there.
Oh, okay.
So say it again. It's Jason
but with an X instead of an A. So JXSON Turner @gmail.com. Yeah. All right. My apologies for cutting off. Yeah.
No issue.
Mine too. And Mr. Ford, someone else said to you, thank you for caring about the community.
Oh, no, thank you for saying that. Thank you so much.
So for Detroit is also connected with another organization as well, correct?
Force Detroit is connected to a bevy of organizations, but what you may be referring to is the Shot Stoppers program. The Shot Stoppers program is made up of 6 community violence intervention nonprofit organizations, and those organizations represent pretty much the entirety of the city of Detroit. So that may be what you're referring to.
I think I saw a faith-based initiative piece on your website. Very awesome website, by the way. And so you work with the police as well, with maybe some of the training that they're doing to stop some of the violence that are coming from the police as well.
So what we've done, we've been able to. So we're not police officers. Our credible messengers are violence interrupters, which I'll get into. Our violence interrupters that are addressing violence in the community. They're not police officers, but we are supported by the city of Detroit in order to work closely within our own communities to reduce violence, so that if there's a situation that we can address, we don't necessarily need to have an officer come and exhaust their resources. We can exhaust our own resources in that community. And since we come from these areas within the community, there's more trust there.
So what are some of the numbers that you have seen on how this Stop the Violence program is helping in the community? Yeah. And then I also know that you all need volunteers to assist you as well as you're going out into different communities. But before we do that, let me do a little station break. You're listening to us right here on Community Updates, right here on WJZZ, the coolest station in the world. We are also sponsored by the White Foundation, that's spelled WYTE, the White Charity Foundation, where they collect recyclable goods, home goods, couches, tables, chairs, pots and pans, and don't throw those things out. So this organization helps our environment by collecting those recyclable things and then giving them away to those in need. Chairs, couch, anything in your house that you use, the pictures on the paintings on the wall. If you're going to discard it, don't throw it out, because you're not helping our landfills, you're not helping our waterways, it's not helping our environment. So you can go to whitefoundation.com and see more about what this organization is doing. It's WYTEfoundation.com. And then also we're sponsored by ABB Wealth Strategies. ABB Wealth Strategies is an organization that helps eliminate risk and maximize your gains. And that's whether you're retired or going into retirement. Call ABB Wealth Strategies at 248-988-8200. Again, that's 248-988-8200. Speak with the representatives there and they will assist you. Todd Bernstein will assist you with all of your needs. ABB Wealth Strategies, 248-988-8200. Thank you again for tuning in to Community Updates. So, Mr. Ford, you were going to give us some of the numbers of how your organization is assisting in the communities and helping to stop the violence.
Very good question. So let me try to say this in the most abbreviated fashion. So back in 2022, if I'm not mistaken, the American Rescue, or 2023, I think it could be 2 or 3, but the American Rescue Plan was passed by President Biden. And when the American Rescue Plan was passed, there were funds allocated to every state towards community violence intervention initiatives. I think there was roughly about $300 million or $400 million given to the state of Michigan. Our governor took those funds and she dispersed a portion of that towards the city of Detroit. So those American Rescue Plan dollars, they call them ARPA dollars, those were used to create something called the Shot Stoppers program, in which the 6 CVI organizations, being Force Detroit, Wayne Metro, the People's Action, Detroit 300, New Era Detroit, and Detroit Friends and Family, those 6 organizations representing almost the entire city of Detroit, were given funds to implement these strategies that I talked to you about within their own individual communities. And when that was done over the past calendar year, there's been a 37 to 83% reduction in crime in the city of Detroit, which is a 54-year low. Mayor
awesome.
Duggan, thank you for that. Mayor Duggan, mayor of Detroit, gave his State of the City address last year, and he highlighted the work that these 6 CVI organizations have done in order to reducing violent crime. We represent 48227 and 48228 zip codes, which is the Cody Rouge neighborhood. Over the past calendar year, we've experienced a 72% crime reduction in the Cody Rouge neighborhood. So the work is there, the numbers are there. If if you think about what the cost per shot is, if someone's actually shot by anyone, the cost is $1.7 million. We're talking about the cost of
healthcare,
healthcare. That cost is expensive. Based on our initiatives within this ecosystem, we've saved the Michigan taxpayer over $100 million.
Awesome. And certainly with all the wonderful things, Detroit can't be known as the murder capital any longer. And I do throughout the city, you see, you know, Detroit has a huge resurgence of things that are just taking place in all communities around the city of Detroit and the surrounding suburban areas, and especially in our downtown area. And so you see a huge police presence just in many different areas that we didn't used to have. So the violence has lessened, and you know, and that's just, and see, that's not. I see people moving in over on Mack and Bewick. That whole area has changed. You know, the communities people are purchasing homes in the city like never before. It is, as people say, it's coming back. It's already back and just getting better.
Absolutely, it's been back.
So we thank you for what you're doing to help in that initiative to stop the violence in the city of Detroit. Someone said that we're glad that violent crime is being reduced and people just want to feel safe.
Absolutely.
And the economy booms when people feel safe, and that is so true.
Yeah.
And another person said, I'm glad that younger people are figuring out innovative things to make change. And so that's really important, because even some of the renderings that you were showing us was about change, and you were seeing different things of maybe poverty or people around the city of New York, and you were showing the face of those people, and you're helping to change the face of those people from a frown to a smile, Mr. Christopher Ford. And what you are doing to make people feel safer, both of you are making people feel safer from the art side and from the side of community activism. And that's wonderful. It's needed on all fronts. So Faith in Action is one of the organizations that I saw from your website that helps organizing to create innovative solutions and problems in the urban areas. So that's just one of the organizations that you all connect with.
Absolutely. That's one of the organizations that we partnered with. Amazing organization, great organization that's helped fund some of the work, but not only that, they are very dynamic in the ecosystem. And I don't mean just the community violence intervention ecosystem, but just making sure that resources are being allocated towards those in need in the Black community. They're awesome for that. So yeah, for sure. One thing I did want to touch on really quickly is the need for sustainability for this work. One thing I didn't get to is those American Rescue Plan dollars that I talked about that help fund the work. And there was a month bonus that was given to the CVI organizations that have month-over-month crime reductions. Those funds are now gone. Those federal dollars are gone now. So what we're really pushing for is sustainability, making sure that dollars are being allocated on a state level, and making sure that there are bills that are being initiated that can help fund this work. Last year, we had two House bills, HB 4605 and HB 4606, that came close to funding this work, and we have bills this year that we're advocating for too, to make sure that there is sustainability for the work long term too. So we and I was going to get to this as well too, but advocating for this means a lot for us and for the community.
So you all are continuing to go with, even though we've had different cuts as far as grants and things, you're still continuing to go after other things, change bills and get other dollars, and you need community support. Tell us your website address so that people can support, and a number maybe they can call if they would like to further support.
Yeah, so forcedetroit.org is a good place to start as far as looking at our website and what it is that we do at Force Detroit and the wraparound resources that we offer. You can reach out to me directly at Christopher@forcedetroit.org. Christopher@forcedetroit.org. And I wanted to say, we are having a community violence intervention day. This is going to be in Lansing, and it's going to be on the 12th, just coming up, June 12th. And that day is going to be at the Lutheran Central, Church, which is in downtown Lansing as well. So that information is going to be on our website as well too. We have a full day of legislative advocacy. We have lunch. We have some hotel rooms available for people who want to come down as well too. But we want to definitely rally the community around that. So I want to make sure you all are aware of that date too. So that information will be posted on our website once they go.
And that, again, that's June the 12th at the Lutheran Central Church in Lansing on June the 12th. You probably will start about what, 8 or 9 o'clock a.m.?
8 to 4:30.
8 to 4:30. So 4:30. You can go to forcedetroit.org or .com.
Forcedetroit.org.
.org. Go to Force, FORCE, Detroit.org and get further information on how you can help as we look and seek to stop the violence, cut down the violence, have the numbers come up where there's peace and harmony and safety for our community.
Absolutely. And I want to say my email address one more time, Christopher@forcedetroit.org. Please email me directly for information, any information about the event. We are going to be at the Lansing Central United Methodist Church. That's 215 North Capitol Avenue in Lansing, Michigan. And that is on June 12th from 8 to 4:30.
Okay. Well, before we wrap it up completely, I want both of you to tell me something that you would like the audience to know, whatever that is.
Brother Arnott, I'll let you take this one first.
I can't think of anything in particular right now I would just say stay curious. And
I like that. Stay curious.
Yeah, stay curious. Stay curious.
Because when you're curious, then you can maybe put your boots to the ground and start doing something.
Yeah. And also try to practice patience. Like putting up this show, it was the first time I'd worked with a lot of people on a project like this. And it was very surreal because it was like they were there to help me. And that was I don't know, that was an interesting experience and very humbling. But people have different ways of working. And at the beginning of the experience, I was nervous because I was kind of butting heads. And I had to hold my tongue and kind of just not assume the worst of somebody else and think about where it is they might be coming from and how their prior experiences doing this. And then it's I have my whole perspective on how I usually work. And so I had to be patient, and because I was patient, it ended up being peaceful. Whereas if I was to have lost my patience and maybe reacted, some would say maybe in justified ways, but if I was to have reacted irrationally, it would have soured the whole experience. And I think our society needs more patience with people who we disagree with. And to stay curious, because there's always something to learn about who someone you might disagree with, why it is they have that belief. And I think now, the one thing that I always try to talk about when I have a platform is just what's going on in Palestine and stuff like that, because it connects to what's going on in Detroit, in New York.
That's true.
It's just a branch off of the tree of colonialism. And we have to learn our history in order to write it. And I think it's our duty, who are living, to help heal the wrongs of the past instead of just allowing them to continue to perpetuate themselves. And that's what we're seeing over there right now, is the continued perpetuation of colonialism. So stay curious, read a book, go outside, hug a tree. That's what I got to say.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you for that. And as people stay curious and stay patient, that'll help stop the violence in communities, because oftentimes people become violent because they're not patient.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Chris Ford.
The one thing I wanted to say, and thank you for saying that, Arnott, I feel like that if there's anything I want to leave people with, and it ties in the work that Arnaud is doing and the work that we're doing at Force Detroit, Arnaud's paintings look as good as they do because he made a decision and a choice to start to implement his skill, his talent, and his gift to bring this gift to life. And it started with a thought and an idea, but he acted on it. As far as the work that we're doing, there's so many forefathers and foremothers. Alea Harvey Quinn started our organization. Brother Ray Winans in Detroit helped start community violence intervention alongside of her as well. And now the organization Force Detroit is being led by Brother DeWanzo Kennedy. And the work that they've put in over the past 10, 15 years is really responsible for the boom that we're seeing as far as violence reduction. But it all started with not only a thought and idea, but activity. Apathy is the leading cause of everything that we consider to be bad, everything that we consider to be lackluster. Even what we see in the government now, there are people that made a decision to absolutely not be involved in the legislative process. So whether you support the administration or you don't support the administration, a lot of people just didn't get involved. As far as making a choice to be involved, making a choice to implement change, you have the thoughts, you have the idea. Now get up and get active. Faith without works is dead. People waste so many decades choosing to do the same thing they've always done and be inactive, and that gets passed down from one generation to the next. So it's inspiring to see what Arnaud is doing. It's inspiring to see the lives that are made here in the city of Detroit, and we just need to continue to wake up from the idea that things can't be better than what they are. Things can be better, but it all starts with the idea and the activity.
That is so true. So true. You take the idea and implement it. And again, you all need some volunteers. And I serve in the prison system.
Yes.
And so we've been helping. I've been meeting with different legislators and having meetings so that we can put the language together, know what to say and how to help more prisoners come out of prison and assist those that are in prison with some of the conditions that they are experiencing. So you're exactly right. We need to don't just complain about it. And I think you even had you all have a section on your website that talks about complaining. So if you can complain, put your feet to the ground and do some action to help. Don't just look at the problem, help be part of the solution.
Absolutely.
So if people are complaining, they can certainly get involved with Force Detroit so they can help to know how to talk to the legislators and what to say and hear what the legislators are saying and how together you can come together to create more peace and less violence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I thank both of you for being our guests today. You all have done, I've just been very glad to see you and hear all the wonderful things that you're doing. I don't know if I'll be able to come out on the 12th, but I certainly will if I can. Matter of fact, I think I'm picking up furniture that day. Is that a Saturday?
That's a Thursday. That's a
Thursday. It's a Thursday.
But even if you can, if you don't mind sharing this information out to
I definitely will put it on my
individuals that
social media.
Thank you.
Definitely. As well as I will continue to post your information or not on my social media. And we've got to get you here in the city of Detroit or somewhere in Michigan, but maybe at the DIA.
One of these days.
Yes, and it could be sooner than later. You
if
never
it's
know.
In God's will, let it be.
That's right. Let it be. And we have had at different art galleries and at the DIA in particular, they're showing more and more Black artists, having their own section.
In this time because a lot of these museums are cutting their initiatives. You just seen how spineless some institutions are. They're after George Floyd, a lot of art institutes were starting to show diverse voices, and then after the election, some museums, even in the same way the government has museums, have cut their diverse initiatives, so there are fewer Black artists being shown in these spaces. So
that's cool and show it in the smaller ones. I go support the smaller art galleries all the time.
I'm all for that,
and that's important. And whatever community I happen to live in, I support the businesses, and particularly our people of color. We've got to support one another.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So everybody's saying you guys did an excellent job. Ed Turner chimed in and said, excellent. Thank you both for being our guests today. Continue to stop the violence, continue to show the artwork, show the faces of the community so we can put smiles on the people's faces. And I know that you show smiles as well. And thank you for showing the history and pictures of the Rangers, because again, we have to know where we've come from to know where we're going. Thank you again for being our guest. You all have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in right here to Community Updates. We'll see you next Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. You can see us on YouTube or go to WJZZ CoolTV Facebook page. Thank you again. Have a wonderful evening, gentlemen.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.